there's only one place to go. To the Haven in LA, where one of the greatest broadcasters just makes her brilliance tell every day. Kinsey Schofield, good afternoon.
Hi, it was a pretty busy news week for royal watchers, and I think you're going to think what I have to say about Prince Andrew is shocking and disappointing.
Prince Andrew, and well, first of all, yet more from the Epstein files. It's definitely going to be a feature-length sort of drama series, isn't it? The Epstein files. Prince Andrew already under the cosh. His wife outed last week as somebody who publicly disowned Jeffrey Epstein after he was found out to be a paedophile and had served time in prison. She's persona non grata. Charities have dropped her almost as much as voters have dropped Labour. Sorry, that was far too political for an American guest. But over the weekend, he also again mentioned in tapes, it's been suggested that finally our king has found a royal backbone and said, I don't want you or your unsavoury wife at my Christmas celebrations in Balmoral, because it's not a great look, I'm afraid, anymore. You're going to surprise me with your comments.
I feel like he wasn't that hostile when this conversation was had, but you're right. According to the report in the Times, Andrew will not be invited to join the family at Sandringham this year.
Oh, Sandringham, not Balmoral, thank you. That's why you're good at your job and I'm rubbish.
And this is where I feel guilt. I don't generally advise anyone to avoid church. But in Andrew's case, maybe he could spend a little more time in church privately rather than making headlines next to his famous family. The Daily Beast had an interesting report over the weekend that quoted one of Prince William's friends as saying Andrew will never be photographed alongside Prince William again. And this was a real win for the Prince of Wales. I'm sorry, but I feel like the head of church, the head of the Church of England should not be regularly seen next to someone on an Epstein flight log.
Listen, I agree with that. And if I was, here you are, he's going to hover his finger over the button, but I'm allowed to have an opinion. If I thought that the Duke of York on Christmas morning was going to that church that I've been to myself with the old man because it was a religious thing, it's not. It's to be seen in public with the royals, because he cannot, will not, but he should accept that it is over. He doesn't. He doesn't have that in his brain. There is no doubt that William, who will be our next king, doesn't want anything to do with him or his wife. There's obviously the added confusion of the daughters. I get all of that. But here's the interesting thing from a religious point of view. You might not like this. We're treading very carefully. The head of the church in England got divorced and got remarried in church, and there's many religious people who think that the king has been hypocritical because of that. Listen, I don't know why the king hasn't dropped the Duke of York quicker than you can say Jack, and people will say to me it's because he must have promised his mother on her deathbed that he would look after Andrew. You can do that privately, but there is no way our royal family can be seen, I think, at funerals or in any other instance anymore with that man and his wife nearby. They're done. They have to be, just go and live somewhere in an island, off Scotland. I don't mean, that didn't sound very good, did it?
Not the island.
Not the island, no. But do you know what I mean? I see them as trying to generate photo opportunities at the expense of what we all know is the royal family trying to do its job.
That's a really good point, and a point that should be acknowledged. I think that people really resent the Duke of York specifically because of his lack of empathy. He reminds me of Prince Harry in the fact that he just never takes any responsibility or accountability. If he showed any sort of compassion whatsoever, okay, you can say you never met Virginia Giuffre, and he has always said, I never met Virginia. Okay, you can say you never met her. We can have our own opinions as to whether or not that's true, but you should show some grace. You should be a little humble in the scenario.
There's no humility about him. Can I ask you a question? And you have to look straight in my eyes. Why do you think the Queen favoured him as the favourite son?
Ooh, why? I really could not. I have no idea. Maybe because he was just around. You know, by the time she was able to slow down and she had the job was something that she could do effortlessly because she was thrust into that position at such a young age, and she was surprised.
God, I miss her. God, I miss her.
I do too. Everyone was so secretive about her father's illness, even towards her own father. He didn't know how ill he was.
Yeah.
So maybe she was just in a more comfortable position in her role, and Prince Andrew was there, and Prince Charles was so much older and was running around in bathing suits with women throwing their arms around him because he was a hunk, and Prince Andrew was just, you know, accessible. I don't know, because
I've got another theory, but I can't possibly say it on air. Last week, I've got a massive theory. Last week also, we heard Prince Harry arrived in this sort of 4-day trip, and he did all these charities, and he went to see the King. There was this sort of explosion over the weekend. Harry, a very serious statement saying there are dark forces, well, men in grey suits, people in grey suits, I should say. Maybe women wear grey suits, I don't know. They're sabotaging my relationship. Yet again, in my humble opinion, proving that little ginger whinger can't keep his gob shut. And today, the King is reported to be saddened by the fact that yet again Harry's opened his cake hole, and it happens every single time, doesn't it?
Yes, bemused was one of the words used to describe it. You know, what I really was so frustrated about when it comes, first of all, can we both acknowledge that had Harry not released this statement, you and I would have moved on. We would not be talking about the Sun's Saturday article that stated that it was a formal meeting. We would be moved on to the next thing. We might be talking about Harry and Meghan in New York in a few weeks accepting another participation trophy. But instead, we have elevated this article, and we're talking about something that Harry himself has magnified. I mean, like, how he doesn't realize that it just shows you, it goes to show he's
I would not trust him to have a crap on the toilet on his own without telling somebody. I don't understand why we're wasting our time. The guy is like a colander. Do you know what a colander is? Do you have them in America?
Yes.
Just water, just holes everywhere, mate. They're just unbelievable. Going back to William, big thing on the front of the Sun today. We haven't got a picture of, we know. Front of the Sun today, get off my land. Get off my land. Now, having lived in Windsor for 7 years, William and Kate will be protected by a huge no-go area, banning locals from land near their new home. Quite right, too. The peasants are revolting. Keep them away.
I feel like it's less about the peasants and more about TMZ. TMZ, American media outlets that hide in the bushes to snap pictures of the Princess of Wales.
Seen it.
You know, there are rules against this type of behavior in the UK that American media just does not respect. And as the family grows older, the children grow older, I'm telling you, Prince George is going to be as hunky and adorable as Prince William once was, and you're going to see a rise and attention to this poor young man who's going to be king one day.
Oh, poor young man's going to be king. He's got women throwing himself at him. It must be an absolute...
Well, I just think that they're just trying to ensure that their family stays safe, and it's less about the locals. I know they love the locals. You see so many locals roll up to church at St. George's Chapel and get to experience and enjoy those.
I actually think the locals, having lived there, will absolutely embrace the fact that the future king and queen are going to move onto that land, and I don't think there'll be that sadness. Can I just finish on something that you will not have an opinion on, because I love having you on? The captain of the US Ryder Cup team said, and I quote, "We're going to go to Bethpage Black in New York and kick the Europeans' asses." The behaviour of the New York fans was appalling.
I'm embarrassed. I'm sorry.
No, appalling. And we battered you. And I'm very keen on America, but I have to say we put the New Yorkers in their place, didn't we? It was appalling, some of that.
I mean, I am really embarrassed by that. I know that the Ryder Cup is traditionally, it has rowdy fans, trash talk, and lots of competitive energy, but there's a line. And what we saw here goes beyond spirited rivalry. It's embarrassing.
Have you heard what Trump said it was? Trump said they're all Democrats. All the Democrats are shouting at the European. It's completely mad.
No, I had not heard that, but I apologize on behalf of my fellow Americans.
Oh, we love you. Listen, thanks so much indeed for coming. And what time is it in LA? Some ridiculous early morning?
It's 9:40. It's fine. We're we're good. We're up at this hour.
You've had your yogurt and your run out. You're going to go and work out?
I had my avocado and toast.
Oh, did you? I can't have toast anymore, gluten-free. Lovely to have you on. Thank you so much indeed. We love you. Kinsey Schofield, 20 to 6. This is Talk Drive.